Welcome back to highlights of the HSBC FEI World Cup final here in Deauville. It's day 3, it's the show jumping in the glorious sunshine. Well, we've now come down to the last 6 to go, and we first see Frank Ostolt, Mike, and Air Jordan 2.
Well, a good combination to be watching. They haven't always found this show jumping phase easy. A course set by Swiss designer Rolf Luidi, and the World Cup final can be up to 1.30 meters. It's the biggest height of any show jumping phase within the eventing discipline, and clear rounds have been very hard to come by. A firm but very fair surface. It's already seen some very good international show jumping, and it's certainly setting up for a wonderful showdown for this HSBC FEI World Cup final. So close.
But Mike, one of these next 5 riders before Clayton Fredericks has got to jump clear to put some pressure on him.
Exactly. Clayton has one fence in hand, and at the moment all the poles are going down as each rider comes into challenge, and it just gives Clayton that little bit more breathing space. Frank Ostolt, another one to have a mistake down this line down the side. This has jumped pretty well, but show jumping has become one of the crucial phases. Clear rounds win medals, win competitions, and a lot of hard work has been put into this phase by the riders in general. Germany, normally a good nation for show jumping in the eventing scene, and if he can get home with no more fences down, as everyone else seems to be having problems, he's not going to drop very far. Inside the time, but it's 4 to add for the star German.
So Frank Ostolt finished on a score of 50.9, so he is the leader, but there's still 5 to go. And the next we see in the arena is Kai Ruder and the 9-year-old stallion Le Prince des Bois.
Well, this was very impressive yesterday. A lot of power, a lot of scope. They go hand in hand, but also too a lot of class by that British-bred stallion, Summer Song. And what a lovely looking horse. In fact, Dad was a lovely looking horse too. Marie-Christine Giroy, as she was when she rode the horse at the Olympics. Did so very well on him. Now, Kai Ruder went round the course yesterday in just 7 seconds over. He ended up on 46.1. So if he jumped clear, and he hasn't, he already now drops very close indeed to Air Jordan. Remember, 50.9 Air Jordan score, and now 50.1 is the score for Kai Ruder. He can't afford another, and then he will start dropping down this final list.
Well, we hear the sound effects, Mike, and this is a very firm surface, isn't it? Oh, and he was too bold in the first part of that double, so that's another one gone, and now he's slipping down.
Yes, in fact, he came down that a little quick, and the concentration gone. Yes, you say the ground is hard, but that's actually very much how the jumping fraternity like this all-weather ground. It's interesting because one wonders whether it has different effects on the horses, but it certainly does provide good jumping. 12 it is. He's inside the time, and that is going to be a big drop for Kai Ruder. He goes down to 58.1.
So, not glory for him, but could it be glory for Pippa Funnell and Ensign? And I'm sure she will be giving this everything to put the pressure on Clayton Fredericks.
Pippa's husband, of course, Will Funnell, one of Britain's top international show jumpers. Pierre Michelet in the back watching this show jumping. And Pippa and Will have been working on this horse because you might remember he was in a very good position when Pippa rode him in the Europeans of 2005 at Blenheim, only to have show jumps down and drop out of the medals. But he is a horse that has got better with age, and at 13 there's still a lot of mileage left in this horse, that is for sure.
Yes, he's been a slow learner, but he just gradually gets better and better. So as Mike says, you know, there is more to come from this horse, beautifully through the treble.
And you notice too how she takes an interesting line so that she doesn't have to up the pace, but she can also get the time. Time can be very expensive in eventing. 1 penalty for every second over the optimum time. Still clear. This could put the pressure on. Down now towards the last part of this course. You can hear a pin drop here. Turns quite sharp round to what is the final line now. And just drops on the back bar. What a pity. Class round. And I wonder whether Pippa, in fact, will blame herself for that. What a pity. Again, the door remains open for Clayton Fredericks.
And Pippa is just shaking her head. She can't believe what she's done. As we see the last fence again, he just ballooned it a bit, didn't quite get out, clipped it with his hind foot, and down it went. So now can Nicolas Touzin, the reigning World Cup champion, the reigning badminton champion, the reigning European champion, can he put the pressure on Clayton Fredericks?
Well, the interesting position is that Pippa is now on 49.9. She stays ahead of Frank Ostolt. But what can the European champion do? Just slightly ahead of Pippa after cross-country, 45.7. He can afford one, and he will stay ahead of Pippa Funnell and the rest chasing. But if he has more than one down, then he will drop out of the medalists, as it were. And all the time, it means Clayton Fredericks can probably breathe just a shade easier. If Nicolas has an Achilles heel, it is probably this phase. He still has won 2 European titles on both occasions, though. He threw quite big leads away and eventually just hung on. And the same was true of his very good badminton win in May of this year. Good to hear that Galland de Sauvagière is improving, and it's gone. So he can't have another. Galland de Sauvagière, his wonderful grey horse, injured out in Hong Kong. Going to take a little time, but certainly be back next year.
Ooh,
and it's gone again.
Yeah, it was coming, that.
You really could see pressure building there. He was trying to be defensive, and in the end it was to his disadvantage. 2 down. 2 down, and he's now on 53.7, down below Frank Ostolt. And if he has another, just the last now, if he has another, he can say bye-bye to the lovely prize money put up here by HSBC, but he doesn't. It's 8, and so 53.7 in his final score.
Yes, he's not going to be in the first 3, I don't think. Still, he put out the memorable cross-country performance. It really was a joy to watch the day before. As Michael Jung comes in on La Biocetique Sam, can he put the pressure on the leader?
Well, there was certainly a lot of chat about Michael when he won the Young Rider title a few years back, but he certainly this year looks a rider who's made the big step into senior competition very well indeed. And I would suggest that this is a name that we're going to hear an awful lot more at the very top of the sport for Germany.
And this is a lovely horse, Mike.
He is. He's certainly one of the pick of the horses.
Was so fluent yesterday on the cross-country. Really put up a brilliant performance.
Well, true in the dressage. Although he got a mark of 45, there were many who said that he was unlucky and he should have been a lot closer. Oh, and he too now is going to put himself under pressure.
Yeah, but it's a big ask. This is only an 8-year-old, and this is a 1.30 m course. It's a big ask, and it's not surprising.
But he's a horse with a very good technique, and that technique showed across the country. And actually, he's keeping a very good shape here despite those 2 errors. So he drops down, both behind Pippa Funnell and Frank Ostholt. Now, it means that Clayton Fredericks now has 2 fences in hand when he comes in. And Michael Jung, he too is on 53. He'll stay ahead of Nicolas Touzan if he jumps the last. And he does. Nice shape. 2 fences in the combination, but in other words, nice round. And this a combination to look forward to in the future.
Absolutely, Mike. We're going to see a lot more of that combination in eventing in the future. There's no doubt about that. So, the overnight leader, Clayton Fredericks, bet a long time, winners in 2005. My money, Michael, is on this combination to win this title.
Well, you're not going to have my money because I agree with you. Clayton Fredericks has been, ever since he arrived in this wonderful seaside venue, he was going to win this. He was so disappointed not to win an individual medal in Hong Kong. Owned by Peter and Edwin Macaulay, great supporters of the Fredericks. It would be a good way to end the season with an Olympic team silver and a second possible World Cup final. Only 3 clear rounds in this competition. In the final phase, Andrew Nicholson, who is going to end up 26th. Stephen Bradley from the United States, he jumped clear. He's going to be about 18th. And 19-year-old Laura Collett was the other one on Mary Hambro's Fernhill Socks. Good first World Cup performance by the 19-year-olds. Now, can he finish on a clear? They're normally a very good combination. Remember, they climbed right up the leaderboard to win the individual silver behind the world champion Zara Phillips in Aachen. What can he do here?
Yeah, he's looking good. But it does make it exciting because, as you say, only 3 clear rounds all through this competition. So this takes some jumping, and that's 1 gone.
1 more life, 1 more fence he's got in hand. And one has to say that Wayne Roycroft, as chairman of the International Federation, has been the one man who's made this phase more difficult, more technical, and I actually think it makes it a more exciting finish.
I agree. Yeah, very exciting finish.
Ooh, he's living dangerously, getting towards home. There's been some very good crowds as he jumps the last, and they're delighted, including his wife Lucinda there, that Australian Clayton Fredericks, with been a long times, wins the HSBC FEI World Cup final in Deauville.
And the family celebrates the win by the Australian, and so the final scores in this great competition. Clayton Fredericks from Australia wins from Pippa Funnell of Great Britain, with Germany's Frank Ostholt in 3rd. Well, we caught up with a very emotional Clayton Fredericks before the prize-giving ceremony.
Just great, you know. I mean, the horse is a super horse. He owes me nothing. He didn't owe me to win today, you know. And I bought him as a 4-year-old, bought him all the way through, and he's just proved to be such a good horse in championships. He rises to the occasion, you know, and he jumped his heart out today. I think I made one little mistake in there, but apart from that, he was fantastic, and it really means a lot to me.
So a truly international finish to this great competition, with Australia, Great Britain and Germany on the winning rostrum. HSBC has sponsored a great event. We hope you've enjoyed these highlights.